The screaming started long before the lights went down. Inside US Bank Stadium, thousands of fans were already on their feet, phones in the air, shaking the entire building before Bruno Mars even appeared on stage. What was expected to be a typical opening set suddenly became one of the most talked about moments of the night in Minneapolis. Fans arrived anticipating another massive stop on Bruno Mars' highly anticipated romantic tour. Instead, they witnessed an opening act so explosive that social media erupted before the main performance had even begun. From the moment the stadium doors opened, the atmosphere felt different. The energy inside US Bank Stadium was restless, loud, and electric. Groups of fans wearing retro silk shirts, sparkling jackets, and custom Bruno Mars merchandise filled every level of the venue hours before showtime. Outside the stadium, lines stretched across downtown Minneapolis as vendors sold tour memorabilia and fans blasted Bruno Mars hits from portable speakers. But no one expected the opening performance to ignite the crowd the way it did. As the stadium lights dimmed for the first time that night, a roar swept through the building. Then came the booming bass. The giant LED screens flashed rapidly across the arena before revealing DJ Pee Wee, the alter ego of Anderson, Paak. Within seconds, the audience exploded. Witnesses inside the venue described the noise level as deafening. Videos uploaded online showed entire sections jumping simultaneously while flashing lights transformed the stadium into what looked more like a championship celebration than a concert opener. Anderson, Paak, known for blending funk, hip-hop, soul, and comedy into his live appearances, immediately took control of the arena. Wearing a flashy custom outfit and oversized sunglasses, he danced behind the turntables while mixing old-school funk records with modern hip-hop beats. Every transition triggered another eruption from the crowd. Then came the surprise moment that pushed the audience over the edge. When Grammy-winning singer and songwriter Leon Thomas walked onto the stage, the reaction became almost uncontrollable. Fans screamed so loudly that several people near the front sections visibly covered their ears. For many younger fans, Leon Thomas represented one of modern R&B's fastest-rising stars. For longtime music listeners, his appearance signaled that this tour was aiming for something much bigger than a standard pop concert. Leon Thomas delivered smooth vocals over live instrumentals while Anderson, Paak continued energizing the crowd from behind the booth. The chemistry between the two performers instantly became one of the night's biggest talking points online. Concert-goer Melissa Grant, who traveled from Wisconsin for the show, said she was stunned by the intensity before Bruno Mars even appeared. "I've been to huge stadium tour before, but I've never seen an opening act control a crowd like that," she explained after the concert. "People were literally screaming every 30 seconds. It felt like the main event had already started." Minneapolis show marked one of the most anticipated stops on Bruno Mars' Romantic Tour, a production already generating major attention across North America. Industry analysts have described the tour as Bruno's biggest live production in years, combining large-scale visuals, live band arrangements, and curated opening acts designed to create a full-night experience rather than a simple concert. That strategy appeared to work perfectly in Minneapolis. Music critic Daniel Reyes of Soundwire magazine called the opening set a masterclass in audience preparation. "Most opening acts try to warm up a crowd," Reyes wrote after the show. "This one detonated the stadium before Bruno Mars even touched the stage." The anticipation surrounding Bruno Mars has continued growing throughout 2026. Despite years at the top of global music charts, the singer has maintained an unusual level of mystery compared to many modern pop stars. He rarely overexposes himself online, gives limited interviews, and carefully controls public appearances. That scarcity has only intensified fan demand. Inside the stadium, that anticipation became almost unbearable. After Leon Thomas completed his final song, the lights suddenly blacked out again. The crowd instantly erupted into chants of "Bruno, Bruno, Bruno." Thousands of phone flashlights illuminated the stadium as fans screamed toward the darkened stage. For several minutes, the arena remained suspended in pure tension. Even security personnel appeared stunned by the noise levels. Stadium staff near the lower bowl exchanged looks while audience members stomped on the metal flooring beneath them. Videos later shared online captured entire rows visibly shaking from the vibration of the crowd. "It honestly felt like a playoff game," said Minneapolis-based radio host Erica Lane. "People weren't just excited, they were emotionally invested." That emotional connection has become a defining trait of Bruno Mars concerts. Unlike many arena-level pop productions that rely heavily on visual spectacle, Bruno Mars performances are often praised for their musicianship and audience interaction. His ability to blend nostalgia with modern pop has made him one of the few artists capable of attracting multiple generations simultaneously. At the Minneapolis show, that diversity was impossible to miss. Teenagers danced beside couples in their 40s. Parents attended with children. Groups of college students mixed with longtime R&B fans who grew up listening to funk and soul records. The opening act reflected that same musical blend. Anderson, Paak's presence brought energy and unpredictability, while Leon Thomas delivered polished R&B vocals that connected with younger audiences. Together, they created an atmosphere that perfectly prepared the stadium for Bruno Mars' arrival. Industry insiders believe the choice of opening performers was intentional. Entertainment producer Marcus Hill said the Minneapolis lineup represented smart musical storytelling. You don't just want noise before Bruno Mars comes out, Hill explained. You want artists who connect emotionally and stylistically with the audience. Anderson .Paak brings explosive charisma. Leon Thomas brings smooth modern R&B. Together, they bridge generations. That bridge became increasingly visible as the night progressed. By the time Bruno Mars finally emerged from beneath the stage platform, the stadium had already reached maximum energy. The audience reaction was immediate chaos. Fans screamed, cried, jumped, and rushed toward the barricades while pyrotechnics exploded across the arena. Yet remarkably, many attendees continued discussing the opening act long after the show ended. Social media platforms filled with clips of Anderson .Paak dancing behind the DJ booth and Leon Thomas delivering dramatic vocal runs. Several viral TikTok videos accumulated hundreds of thousands of views within hours, with captions calling the opening set the craziest concert surprise of 2026. On X, one fan posted, "The opening act at Bruno Mars Minneapolis was so insane I forgot Bruno wasn't even out yet." Wrote, US Bank Stadium was literally shaking before the first Bruno Mars song. The online reaction highlighted an important shift happening in modern touring culture. Fans increasingly expect concerts to feel like full experiences rather than isolated performances. Opening acts are no longer treated as background entertainment. In many cases, they become essential parts of the story. That appears to be exactly what Bruno Mars and his team intended. Tour insiders reportedly spent months designing each show's packing to maximize emotional buildup before Bruno's arrival. Instead of slowing the audience down before the main performance, the strategy focused on escalating tension continuously throughout the night. Minneapolis may have delivered the clearest example yet. The city itself also contributed to the atmosphere. Minneapolis has long carried a powerful musical identity, shaped by legendary artists like Prince and its deep history of funk, soul, and live performance culture. Several fans interviewed outside the stadium mentioned that connection directly. "There's something about Minneapolis crowds," one attendee said. "We understand live music differently here." That connection between the city's musical roots and Bruno Mars' performance style created an unusually intense atmosphere. Bruno's own sound, heavily inspired by funk, soul, and classic R&B, naturally aligned with the city's history. Even before the first official song of Bruno Mars' setlist began, the crowd already felt fully immersed. Some entertainment analysts now believe the Minneapolis concert could become one of the defining viral moments of the entire Romantic Tour. Streaming clips from the opening performance continue circulating online, with fan reactions becoming almost as popular as the actual stage footage. In several videos, audience members can be seen screaming uncontrollably simply from hearing Anderson .Paak's voice echo through the stadium speakers. Others captured Leon Thomas receiving standing ovations before the headliner even appeared. For Bruno Mars, the overwhelming response only reinforces his reputation as one of live entertainment's strongest curators. While many artists focus exclusively on their own stage time, Bruno appears committed to shaping the entire emotional journey of the audience from start to finish. That approach has helped separate him from many of his contemporaries. He understands packing, music journalist Kelly Monroe explained during a post-show review segment. The audience doesn't just remember Bruno Mars songs, they remember how the entire night felt. Minneapolis, that feeling started much earlier than anyone expected. By midnight, fans flooded downtown streets still shouting lyrics, replaying concert videos, and debating which moment had generated the loudest scream inside the stadium. Some argued it was Anderson .Paak's entrance. Others believed Leon Thomas triggered the night's biggest eruption. A few insisted the crowd peaked before Bruno Mars even appeared, and that may ultimately become the most remarkable part of the story. At a time when audiences are harder to impress than ever, one opening act transformed an already massive concert into a viral cultural moment before the superstar headliner even stepped into the spotlight. Inside US Bank Stadium, the screaming started early. And according to fans leaving the venue that night, it never truly stopped.